Hello, my name is Professor Rad, and today we're going to talk about a method of subtraction called subtracting left to right. So let's just jump right in and find some differences, shall we? So for this first example, we're going to subtract 36 minus 25. So here's how the left to right method works. You take whatever your first number is, and you're going to write that up top. So there's our 36. Then this is basically the opposite of the addition process that we looked at before, where we broke a number down into its tens and its ones. So we're going to do the same thing here as we subtract. So on the left of 25, we've got a 2, and that 2 is standing in for 20. So we're going to take 20 away. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 6 minus 0 is 6. Next, we're going to take away the 5. 1 minus nothing is 1, and 6 minus 5 is 1. So 36 minus 25 is going to give us 11. Sweet, let's try another one. So here we have 785 minus 142. So same thing, I'm going to start out by writing the first number up top, 785. And then I'm going to subtract whatever came on left here. So here I'm going to take off the hundreds, or 100. 7 minus 1 is 6. And then we'll bring down the 85. Next on our number was the 4 in the 40s place, or in the tens place, so we'll take away 40. Now, another way you can think of this is you've got 68, and you're taking away 4. So we can count down 4, 68, 67, 66, 65, 64. So here we have 64, and we'll bring down the 5. Lastly, we've got 2. 5 minus 2 is going to give me that 3, and we can bring down the 64. There you go. So that's subtracting some 3-digit numbers. Now let's do some everyone's favorite decimals. Start out the same way, 6.94. And since we're subtracting 3.7, we're going to have to subtract the ones place. So when I do this, I want to make sure I'm lining things up properly. So I'm going to put the 3 point right underneath the 6 point. Six minus 3 is 3. Then we bring down the 9.4, or the 94. Next, we have 7/10 here. So I'm going to line that up with the 7/10, or with the tenths place. Now, when I'm doing the subtracting, I can kind of ignore that decimal point and just think of them in terms of whole numbers. As long as I carry that decimal point down, I'm going to be good to go. So I can think of this as 39, and then I'm going to count down 7. So 39, counting down 7. So 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. So that's going to give me a 3.2, and then I bring down the 4. Now, in this case, I'm drawing little tick marks as I'm doing my counting down. You could also be, using your fingers to do that. But if you find it hard to do the counting of the counting down, as well as the counting how many tick marks you're writing, you could write those out first. So if I'm subtracting 7, I know I'm going to write out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines, and then start at 39 and count down. So 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. So we can get our 3.2 that way. All right, so next we're going to look at a couple examples where it might be a little bit tougher to do the subtraction if we had been going using a traditional method. So let's take a look at those. All right, so let's carry on. Sorry that got a little bit shaky there. So let's carry on, and we're going to do a 46 minus 28. So we start out with our 46 up top, and then the 2 is in the tens place, so we're going to take 20 away. So 4 minus 2 is 2, and then we can bring down the 6. Next, we're going to remove 8. So I'm going to use my counting down method here. So we have 26 and we're taking 8 away. So let me draw out 8 shapes first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now let's count down from 26. So we have 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. So our answer here is 18. And that's how it goes. Let's try one with some big numbers. So we've got some thousands going on in here. Sorry if you hear the traffic, my word. So we're going to start out with 2016. And what will we subtract? Well, we've got this 9, and the 9 is in the hundreds place, so we're going to subtract 900. I want to make sure I line up my place values, so since the 0 is in the hundreds place, I'm going to put the 9 there. Okay, when I think about this, I'm thinking about it as 20 minus 9. So just ignore the 16 here. We're thinking about the first grouping, so 20 minus 9. Again, I'm going to draw 9 shapes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's going to help me as I count down. So we're starting out with 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. And then we'll bring down the 16. The next number we're subtracting is this 2 for 20. So we'll write the 20 underneath. Now for this process, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start out with, like, you could even think of this as 11 or 111, and we're going to take 2 away. Again, I'm subtracting left to right, so I'm ignoring the stuff on the right for now. So 111, and we're going to take away 2. So that's 111, 110, 19. So 109, and then we'll bring that 6 down. Lastly, we're going to take away 4. And I could think of this as 1096 and count down 4, but this time 6 is bigger than 4, so I can just do 6 minus 4, which will be 2. And bring down that 109. So 2016 minus 924 is going to be 1092. Now, if I wanted to check my answer, I could take my result and then add what I had subtracted up here to see if we get the same thing. So yeah, why don't we do that? So if I've got 1092, I'm going to use the addition process since the subtracting left to right is basically the opposite of that process. So I'm going to add together my thousands. I don't have any hundreds here, but I have 900 here. I've got 90 and 20, which is going to be 110. So that splits up into 100 and 10. And then for my ones, I've got a 2 and a 4, which is 6. And this 900 and 100 is 1,000. So if I add together what I've got 1,000 and 1,000, which makes 2,000. No more hundreds, a 10 and a 6, which gives me 2,060. 16. So when I add my answer to what I subtracted, I get back where we started. So that means the 1092 is correct. All right, and let's, for our last example, let's do one with decimals just to see what happens here. So here we have 24 and 5/10, and we're going to subtract away 8 and 6/100. So starting like normal, 24.5. And I want to make sure I line up my decimal places. So I'm going to subtract 8 ones because the 8 is in the ones place. So I'm going to make sure I line up that decimal point here when I do my subtraction. This one looks like I'm going to have to count down since the 4 is smaller than the 8. So I'm going to think of this as 24 minus 8. So let me prepare with 8 dots here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and let's count down. So we have 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. So 24 minus 8 is going to give me that 16. And we'll bring down that 5. Next, I have 0 tenths, so I don't have to subtract any tenths. But I do have a 100th on this problem, so I have to put a subtraction for 6/100. The challenge here is I don't have any hundredths listed. I've got a tenth, but I don't have anything written for the hundredths. Easy fix though, just tack on a 0. And now we can subtract. So I'm going to write out my 0.06 because I have to make sure that the 6/100ths lines up with the hundredths. So we'll put a 0 there. And now we can count down. Again, remember with the decimal point, you can kind of think of it like that decimal point's not there. So you could think of this as 1,650 and you're counting down 6. Or you could think of it as just 50 and you're counting down 6. Either way, I'm going to draw out 6 dots to make that easier. And I'm going to think of it as 50. So 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44. And then I'll bring down the 16 point. Just as an illustration, if you wanted to think of the whole number minus that 6, you could do 1650 and then 1649, 1648, 1647, 1646, 1645, 1644. So you would get your same answer of 1644 and then bring that decimal point down. All right, so hopefully those examples helped you with the subtraction from left to right method. Here are 4 problems for you to try out using that technique. Now, the goal here is to try them out. So we're going to examine 2 other methods of subtraction. So if this one ends up not being your jam, that's totally fine. But you want to try it out and experiment so that you can find out maybe it is your jam. So give these a go, and in the next video, we'll talk about an alternate technique called the Singapore method. Have a great day, everybody.